a lot of dating content. Funny enough, I've also watched a lot of other content just about mindset. I've watched motivational speech, and I've watched Andrew Tate podcasts, you name it, everything in between, to try and learn more about the mind, because I genuinely think it's one of the most, it probably is the most important factor in business, is your mindset, right? If you look, I know many people who then they themselves are somebody who's very competent, however, they still can't make any money. And I know the complete opposite to be true for other people as well. And I think that if you've ever heard or talked to anybody successful, they'll tell you that about 80 to 90% of business is your mindset. It is literally your mind, okay? Which shows us, and I'm sure all you could agree, that your mindset is quite important in anything. As a matter of fact, something I wrote down the other day is that your mindset controls your thoughts. Okay, your mindset controls your thoughts, and your thoughts dictate your actions. Okay, and your actions dictate your reality. So if you have the wrong mindset, what's going to happen? Well, you aren't going to live the life you want to live. It's quite simple. Okay, this is a realization that many of us know, yet we fail to internalize. Okay, that if you have the wrong mindset, you will live the wrong life. And it sounds so simple on the surface, like, oh yeah, Stefan, of course I know. Yeah, of course, dude. Like, yeah. But we don't understand. Like, we day to day. I have buddies who, they watch Tate, right? And then they think they have a good mindset, and they bitch and complain 24/7. And they have a victimized mindset, which we'll talk about later, what a victimized mindset is and how to get rid of it. Because I think it's something that a lot of us have, myself included. It's just about how much can you manage it. Okay? Anyways. I have a lot of notes on this computer over here that I'm going to be referencing through as we talk through today. But the first thing I want to talk about is breaking your paradigms. You need to break your paradigms. Okay, now if you don't know what the word paradigms is, go search it up. Google's your best friend. It was for me when I first figured it out as well. Okay, what I mean by this is a lot of us have pre-existing limiting beliefs from the way we've grown up, from the people we've hung around with, from whatever the case may be, right? And we have these sort of beliefs, this perspective on how the world is. The problem is some of these beliefs may not entirely be true, and some of these beliefs and these mental models may not serve us well. As a matter of fact, I'd argue that most of them do not serve you well. And so when I was referencing, or when I wrote the note, break your paradigms, I spent the weekend with one of my buddies who made 40K last month. 40K last month. You want to know what he did the same day I hung out with him? He closed a 40K per month deal with no client. He made 40K last month, and then he made 40K in a fucking day. Monthly recurring revenue. If that in and of itself doesn't break your paradigms, I don't know what does. And the point I realized, I was like, holy fuck. And for context, the guy that paid him was the guy that sold his last company for $500 million. There is so much money out there. Everything you could have ever imagined or dreamed of is out there, and you can have it. The problem is most people just don't believe. They just don't believe. And the thing is, I could sit here and ask, oh yes, do you believe? And all of you will probably give me a, yeah, I do. But if you sat down with yourself at night and were totally honest with yourself and asked yourself, do I actually believe? Do I have undeniable conviction that I can make this work? Am I delusional about the fact that I'm going to escape the matrix to make a bunch of money? If you were honest with yourself and truly, brutally honest, most of you would say, not really. And I'm not proud of that, but that's the reality. And the thing is, that's the reality for most people, is they're not fully convicted. They don't fully believe. And when I say fully believe, I'm not talking about, oh yeah, like, 99%. No, I'm talking about with 110% belief. You have undeniable conviction that you will make it work at whatever cost. You will find a way to make it work, right? And the thing is, this is what some people would call delusion. Some people would call this, oh, you're delusional. Right? And I argue, if people look at you as delusional, you're doing something right. People look at you as delusional, you're doing something right. Because here's the thing, most people aren't delusional. They do normal things. And guess what? They live normal lives. So do you want to be like them? Well, no. And here's the thing, is some people can't fathom that you do something different than them. For example, there's a quote I love, one of my favorite quotes of all time, literally, which is that if you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. What this sort of quote means is that if you can see what other people cannot see, you can do what other people don't think is possible, right? So if you can see a way for you to make $1 million online, buy a McLaren, and you fully see that and you believe it and you go, then you're able to do it. Because in this life, you can only do what you set out to believe, right? If you don't believe in depression, you can't ever get it. I'm not talking about if depression is objectively real or not. I'm talking about if you don't believe in it, it can't be real for you. Because your life is only what you make of it. your reality, the world that you live, is not objectively true in society. It's just the way you view the world. That's it. So here's the thing. Me and you could both live two of the exact same lives. The exact same things could happen, and we could have two totally different outlooks on life. Right? For example, let's say we're both the same person. And right, we're the same person, we both have a cat, and our cat dies. You may get depressed and go, oh my goodness, no, my cat died. Like, I can't believe this. This is so sad. Like, and then you go into a spiral for the next 6 months and you're depressed and do nothing. I can go, man, I'm so glad that I got to spend the last 15 years with that cat and make an impact on his life. I will forever remember him, and I owe it to him to be the best version of myself because I know that's what he would have wanted for me. Let me go to be the best version of I am. The same thing happened, but two totally different perspectives, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is that your reality isn't objectively real in the world. It's only what you make of it. Your reality is just your perspective on life, right? We change things all the time based on our perspective. And so your perspective dictates what you view as real. And so this idea, Andrew talks about a lot, oh, depression isn't really yada yada. A lot of people get offended. If you guys don't know, about 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety. I had an eating disorder. I lost like 3 pounds. I didn't want to even get out of bed. I was on the phone with my doctor, counselor, and therapist every fucking day. I'd be bawling my eyes out in bed. That was, I think, in late 2021, about 3 years ago now, right? And after coming across Tate on some social media platforms, and at first being a bit triggered by him because he was very, out there with his takes, and a lot of them went against what I believed, right? I had this victim mindset. I believe that things happen to me, not me, it happened to them, etc., etc. I started to actually buy into what he was saying. A few months later, I stopped taking. I was on 5 different pills, by the way. I stopped taking every single different pill, and people looked up to me and asked me, Stefan, how are you so happy? My roommates, who were also depressed at the time, asked me, how the fuck did you get so happy? People around me started asking me, Stefan, how did you get so happy? How did you find so much energy and so much passion? Just controlled my own thoughts. That was it. I stopped buying into the idea of things that could harm me. I stopped believing narratives and things that would hold me back from being the best version of myself. Quite literally. Now, granted, there's obviously more that goes into that, but fundamentally, the thing that I changed from being depressed versus not was I just stopped buying into the idea of depression. I said, okay, if depression is real or not, that's not a conversation I'm going to have right now. Regardless if it's real or not, I don't care. Does me believing in depression make me a better human? No. It really doesn't. Right? It didn't make my life better in any way, shape, or form. I said, cool. So if it doesn't make me better, if it doesn't make me feel better, perform better, look better, make more money, etc., even if it is true, why should I believe in it? Like, once again, even if it is true, why should I believe in it? Why are you going to believe in things that take away power from you? Right? Tate talks about this all the time. He doesn't believe in things that take away power from him because he wants to have complete and utter control. And therefore, he doesn't buy into things that take away power from him. He doesn't hold beliefs that don't serve him. He only holds beliefs that serve him well. Because once again, your reality is only what you make of it. I'm sure we've all heard about placebo effect and all this stuff. There's been plenty of studies done. You go look at your own stuff. There's just one study done for this guy who had a big tumor. And he went into the doctor gave him the shot and the surgery, whatever the fuck he needed for the tumor, and all of a sudden the tumor went away. Right? This is a real story. You can go look it up. Then later on in the news, the guy found out that the injection he was given, yada, 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 wasn't effective and didn't work. And all of a sudden the tumor came back. He went back to the doctor and said, hey, doc, the tumor came back. The thing didn't work. The doc said, hey, man, all those news outlets are actually lying to you. We actually have an even stronger dose that's even more effective. This works incredibly well. Injected him with salt water, I believe is what it was. Maybe my facts are a little wrong here. But injected him with water. The tumor went away. Why? Because the guy believed that he had the solution. Now, later, the guy ended up finding out that this was not true and this medication didn't actually work. And even though he wasn't given the medication, he now believed that it didn't work, and therefore the tumor came back. Okay? But the point was, he made the tumor go away by just believing. And it sounds so crazy. Oh, Stefan, like, how could that be possible? Whether it can or cannot, right? Let's just ask ourselves, would we benefit from living that way, of believing that we can control the things that happen to us? Well, probably. So why not buy into the idea? Why not buy into the idea of things that can make you better? That's a question I urge you to ask yourself when you leave here today. Okay. Next thing that I want to dive into here is like, you need to meet new people. And you need to meet new people to break your paradigms for you, because typically speaking, you won't just sit here in a room by yourself and break your paradigms by yourself. You break your paradigms by meeting new people and saying, holy fuck, look what's possible. The first time I ever had the biggest breakthrough in my life, when I eventually scaled my agency and then dropped out of university and quit my 9 to 5, is when I met a guy named Tony Lee. Some of you may know Tony Lee, right? He's now gone on to, scale to way past 100K a month and make a fuck ton of money. Now, at the time when I first met Tony, he was making nothing. He was another stupid kid like me who would jump on the calls. I joined a mastermind, and I would jump on the calls, and he would sit there and always dick around, right? And everyone would know it, and he would dick around, yada, yada, yada. And I looked at him, I'm like, man, this guy's just like me. And about a month, a bit later, he'd scale his agency to 17K per month. And I was like, this guy 2 months ago was dicking about in his fucking car, going to the gym, talking about like weird gay shit. And now he's making 17K per month. Okay, if he can do it, so can I. And that's when I had the breakthrough of it's possible. I had the belief broken that like, and the thing is, we all have these moments in life where a belief breaks. Somebody does something and it breaks one of our beliefs. And that was a moment for me where the initial belief of making money online, that belief was completely shattered. And I was like, I know I can do this, because if he can, so can I. And that's why I urge you guys to go meet new people and go hang out with people. And we'll talk about more about what kind of people, etc. But it's so important to surround yourself with other people that are also winning. Now, granted, you're not going to be able to get in a room filled with billionaires yet, but you need to try your best to surround yourself with other people who at least are on the same trajectory and who will be able to help you get rid of your bad mindset. Because I'll tell you this, it's really hard to have a mindset of, oh, I can't do this, when there's 10 other guys around you doing the same fucking thing as you, and you can look at them and see they're just the same. It's really hard to not win at that point, right? Really, really hard. And so I encourage you to all meet new people, because meeting new people is an easy way to break your paradigms and smash your limiting beliefs. It's just be like, holy fuck, look at all these guys. If they can do it, why can't I? And that's the question I ask myself all the time. I think you guys should too. If they can do it, why can't I? Why can't I? Why can't I do it? If they can, why can't I? And here's the thing. Victim mindset, people say, oh, well, because of this and 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 this. Even if that were true, once again, even if that were true, even if you did have an accent and people, were racially biased towards not working people with an accent, even if you, were obese, even if you were stupid, even if those things were objectively true, does holding those beliefs help you make more money? No. So why hold them anyway? Even if they're objectively true, why have them? Why hold those beliefs if they do not help you? Why? It doesn't make sense, does it? Well, no. So once again, even if your limiting beliefs, your, whatever the case is true, they don't help you. Why hold them? Why have those beliefs? And the thing is, you have to be cognizant and you have to be very cautious around yourself and call these things out. Why do I have this belief? Why am I thinking that way? This is something I actively try and do, is when something happens in my life and I react a certain way, I ask myself, why did I act that way? Why did I get sad about that? Why did that annoy me? And I'll reflect with myself and my emotion. I go, why did that annoy me? What specifically? Why? And what happens when you ask yourself why, you figure out what made you pissed off or what made you think that way. And that's when you can start to control your thoughts, is we can start to reflect back and have a conversation, have a little dialogue with yourself. Start to confront yourself, something that not a lot of people will do because it's hard. Okay? Like, it's hard. You gotta set your ego aside. Be like, yeah, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I am stupid. Maybe I am lazy. But let me acknowledge that and try and figure it out about myself. Okay? And I think in this world, there's so many people that leave so much of themselves on this world when they die. In the sense that so many people never truly push themselves. And that's something that really, really scares me. There's not a lot of things that scare me in this world, but not seeing myself blossom into my fullest potential is something that really does hold me back. That's something that scares me, that keeps me up at night. It's like, what if I don't become the person God created me to be? What if I don't become the best possible version of myself? For myself, for my family, right? For my current family, for my future family, for my friends. Like, what if I don't become the best person? That's a hard question to ask. And that's something difficult to sit with yourself, is what if I don't become the best version of myself? And there's so many people nowadays that do not actually push themselves. Like if I asked all of you the question right now, and I want you to answer this internally to yourself, are you actually going all in? Like if I put a gun in your head and said, hey man, I need you to give more, could you give more? I could. I'll admit I can. And I think it's the same for all of you. All of us could go more. And I'd argue we go a lot more than we think we really could. You see, there's competition is so easy nowadays because nobody really tries. If you actually, and I'm not talking about, oh yeah, I'll try. Genuinely can commit to yourself and go all in and push yourself and seek chaos and seek discomfort. I promise you the life you will live will be incredibly different. And it'll be so, so, so cool because so many people will not do this. Nobody goes all in. I've never met somebody who is genuinely, and I mean genuinely, not like, oh yeah, I went all in. I tried SMMA and it didn't work. I tried dropshipping and it didn't work. I tried crypto and it didn't work. Not those guys. We all know those guys, right? I'm talking about someone who genuinely went all in, committed their very being, their life to this thing. They eat, sleep, and dream this fucking thing, okay? And not make it. I've never met anybody that committed themselves to something and then not make it. I've never ever seen it happen. As a matter of fact, I've rarely seen anybody ever commit fully to something in the first place. It's rare you see that happen. Even if you look at, NBA, for example, most of those guys aren't committed. They're not really committed. They're good, but they're not great. They're good, but they're not great. You can tell the guys who are great. You can differentiate them from the people that are good. Right? It's very easy. If you go look at the league 10 years ago, everyone would go, yeah, Kobe's great. Yeah, Kobe's great. Right? Michael Jordan's great. LeBron's great. Everyone else is kind of below them. And I guarantee if you looked on an input level who put more in, it'd be undeniable who put more. As a matter of fact, we all know the story with Kobe, right? I remember one time I was watching this video yesterday. I forget who it was, but one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna try and be the first one down to breakfast." So he set his alarm nice and early. He went in the shower, got put his stuff on. He went downstairs. Kobe was sitting there with ice packs on his knees. Well, this guy tried to be the first to breakfast. Kobe already had an entire workout in before anyone else even woke up. Right? Talk about going all in. And the thing is, nobody does it. Nobody does. Like nobody genuinely goes all in. And if you can unlock something in yourself to just be like, man, you know what? Let me give this a shot. I promise you will find something about yourself that you will unlock something inside of you that will just take you to the next level. The problem is most people don't have the courage to do that. And the thing is, courage isn't doing something when you're not scared. That's not courage. That's not bravery. Courage is when you do something even though you're scared shitless. That's courage. So to be courageous doesn't mean that you're fearless. It doesn't mean that you're not scared at all. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. That's not courageous, right? Anyone can walk into an apartment building when it's not on fire. Only courageous people will walk in when it's on fire. You see, being courageous doesn't mean doing something when things are going good. It's being the guy that does the thing when things are going to shit. That's courage. That's courage. It's to be scared shitless, but to still do it anyway. Okay? That's courage. The other night, I was watching Suits. Some of you may know this show. I was watching Suits. And I don't ever watch movies. If you name 100 movies, I probably haven't watched a single one of them. I'm really, really bad with movies. I'm also really, really bad with shows. I don't watch a lot of anything, to be quite honest with you. However, when I was babysitting or whatever, house sitting for my mom, they had a nice big TV. I don't even have a TV here, so it's hard to watch when you don't have a TV. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna watch something. And granted, I already watched Suits a really long time ago, but I wanted to rewatch it again because I wanted to learn. You see, for some reason, I have this mindset now where I always want to learn, which sometimes good, sometimes not good. But I really want to learn, and I just wanted to see what kind of lessons I could extract from this, more or less how Harvey and how Mike carry themselves as to be these super undeniable, confident characters. Now, despite that's a whole different conversation. There's a part in the show, or if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry, where Lewis gets his name on the wall. If you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. But you'll know if you've watched it that Lewis got his name on the wall not because he earned it, because he got it given to him. because he strong-armed Jessica into giving him his name on the wall. And so Lewis got given the name on the wall, but he didn't really earn it. And so if you watch what happens, if you even look at Lewis over the next couple of days, he isn't happy, he isn't fulfilled, he isn't content. He's sad, he's broken, he's lonely. And that's because despite the fact he got the thing he's always wanted, which is his name on the wall. He's worked at this firm his entire life. It's the only place he's ever worked. It's the only thing he ever dreamed of was getting his name on the wall. Despite the fact that he got everything he ever dreamed of, he wasn't happy. Why? Why? Begs the question, well, why was he not happy? It's because he didn't earn it. It's because he didn't go through the trials and tribulations. He didn't sacrifice. He didn't have to work for it. He didn't struggle to get that. He got it given to him. And if you're not catching on, it's the same in business. Everybody wants to make the money. Everybody wants the freedom. Everyone wants to escape the matrix. Everyone wants the McLaren. Right? The McLaren 765 LT Spider, purple edition. Why not? Right? Or the fucking Bugatti. Whatever the fuck you want. Everybody wants all these things. Maybe it's just freedom. Maybe you're like, I don't want cars. I don't want Rolex. I just want freedom. Whatever the thing is. We sit here, as much as none of us want to admit it, we sit here and we wish we could just snap our fingers and have it happen. We go, man, if only I could just, someone would just, drop $1 million in my bank account tomorrow. I would be so happy. And despite the fact that some of you are like, no, I wouldn't. You would. You think you would at least. Right? Man, I wish someone just dropped $10 million in my bank account right now. I could then retire my family. That would make me feel so good to be able to retire my family. And then I could, finally buy my parents a new house. And then, I could get myself, finally I could buy myself a car and have freedom to do what I want. And the thing is, we think we'd be happy when we get all these things. But if you've ever ran a race or lived life, you'll know that it's never about the destination. It's about the journey. Okay? It's not about crossing the finish line. It's cool, but what it's really about is every kilometer you had to run through before that, every ounce of training you put in, every drip of sweat, blood, sweat and tears that went into that. That's what made finishing the line so cool, because I'll tell you what, right? A lot of people think, oh, finishing line on a marathon is so cool. It is so cool if you put the work in. Imagine if we drove a car for 42.1 kilometers of the race. Marathon is 42.2. And I dropped you off and you ran the last 100 meters. How good would you feel? Would you feel proud of yourself? Would you feel content? Would you feel fulfilled? Well, probably not. Why? Because you didn't earn it. Because you see, it's never about the end goal. It's never about that. It's never about this. And the thing is, it's so hard to realize this when we're not there, right? It's so easy to realize once you cross the finish line, you go, oh, it was about the training. That's what made running the marathon so cool. Is all the training I put in, all the hours that led up to this, and the fact that I just ran 42.2K before I crossed the finish line. Right? It's easy to realize it then, because then you can look back and reflect because you've got the thing you said you wanted. But if you can realize that the thing you say you want isn't actually what makes it so cool in the first place, you can unlock an entire new beast in yourself. Because I'll tell you this, it's never about making the money. I'll give you a good example. Imagine if everybody right now had a Lamborghini. And everybody in the world, you looked out in your street, there's a street below me here, and every single car is a Lamborghini, and I gave you a Lamborghini. Would you feel good about driving your Lamborghini? Probably not, because everybody fucking has one. And I'll tell you what, when you have what everyone has, it's not valuable anymore. Right? The reason why you guys don't jump on these calls and flex the fact that you have fucking headphones or glasses or water is because everybody has those things. Right? Like nobody sits on the call and goes, man, Arda, dude, those headphones, bro, insane. That book cat behind you, holy shit, bro. How did you get that? Dude, what the fuck? Right? But if you jump on here with a 2 Comma Club X award behind you, right, and you got a fucking Rolex on, people go, holy shit, dude, how the fuck did you get that? Why? Because people know it's hard to get those things. Right? So if I go and pull up some awards, you're like, holy shit, Stefan. How'd you get these awards? Right? And you think it's cool. Because there's value associated with them, because not everybody has them. Which is what makes them cool in the first place. The reason why people don't jump on these calls and start, stroking their cock to the books behind me, because everyone can get the fucking books. It's not that cool. Right? It's not that cool. It's just some fucking books. Right? And so the thing is, The reason why these things are valuable in the first place is because they're hard to get. The reason why we want to make money is because we know making money is hard. Now, granted, you should have the mindset that making money is easy and that you live an abundant life and it should come to you, but that's not the point of this discussion. Remember that, but just not the point of this discussion. But like, if making money was easy, everybody could do it. You wouldn't want to make money. It wouldn't be cool to have $1 million in your bank account if everyone else had $1 million in the bank account. Because guess what? If you had $1 million in your bank account and so did everyone else, that's the equivalent of having like $100. Like everyone has $100 in their bank account, right? And that's not cool. You don't sit there and go, man, I'm a hundredaire. Huh? Hundred? Like no, like you don't do that, right? You don't sit there and flex the fact that you got $100. Okay. And so the point is that a lot of the times we think we want the reward, right? We want the view and we don't want the climb, right? We want the prize, but we don't want to pay the price. We want the trophy, but we don't want the training. But the thing is, what we don't realize is that the training makes the trophy so good. The climb makes the view so good, right? The price is what makes the prize so good, right? The more expensive something is, the more we value it, which is why a McLaren is valued more than, let's say, Toyota. Costs more. And typically speaking, it's harder to make more money. Therefore, it's more valuable. It's not because of the money. It's because it's hard to get the money. So if you got given the money, it will be worth it. The point I'm trying to make is so many of you have this mindset of like, man, I wish I could just get things given to me. But what I encourage you to is I encourage you to seek chaos. I encourage you to seek discomfort. I encourage you to sacrifice. I encourage you to endure a bit of pain. Ask for pain. Because that's when you grow. Ask for suffering. Because that's when you learn. Seek these hard times. Because that's what makes it so good in the end. Right? That's what makes it so good in the end. It's all of these quote unquote bad things. That's how when something bad happens to Tate, he says, good. Oh, this happened, the business went good. Oh, yeah, so and so. Yeah, good. Oh, well, you know that person in this. Good. Keep saying good. Why? Because when bad things happens, it tests your character and it gives you a chance to grow. Most people see bad things as bad. Well, first off, why are they bad? Why? Are they objectively bad? Why are they bad? Well, that's just your perspective on life. Things are only bad because you make them out to be bad. Right? Things are only bad because you make them out to be bad. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The thing is, you give things power. When something bad happens, you're the one that makes it bad because you believe that. That's your perspective. That's your outlook. Once again, you got to control your mind, control your thoughts, because that's where everything else stems from. Every little thing. Every little thing. So the point is like, man, just go seek some discomfort. Things are going right. You're not making money. You're not signing clients. Life is tough. You're getting bullied. Good. Good. Because I tell you what, there's no movie that I'd rather watch than somebody who goes through a bunch of fucking shit and finally makes it in the end. Those are the best movies. And I'd argue if you go look at some of your movies, the best movies aren't where the guy gets what he wants right away. Right? Imagine in James Bond, the video starts with James Bond, the guy comes up to him and James Bond shoots him in the head and the movie's over. Imagine if that was the movie. We sit here and laugh and go, oh man, I wouldn't watch that. But it's funny because that's what most of you want your life to be. You want the guy to walk right up to you and with your fucking gun in his face and to shoot him. You want the money to fall in your bank account. You want the girl to just, jump into your lap. Like, you just wish these things would happen. But then when we bring it to reality, be like, oh, hey, man, imagine if the movie was like this. You'd be like, dude, no, I wouldn't watch it. Well, why are you wishing the same for your life? Why are you wishing everyone thinks easy? Why? Because we think that these things are valuable. We think that, like, oh, when we get the money, we'll be happy. Once again, the reason that the thing that makes money valuable is the fact that it's hard to make. Money in and of itself isn't valuable. It's not. I can promise you that. The thing that makes money valuable is the fact that it's hard to make. And most people cannot make it, which is why money is valuable. But once again, I would argue the money itself isn't even valuable. It's what you could do with the money. But once again, the only reason why this is valuable in the first place is because it's hard to get and not everybody has it. Basic supply and demand, right? The less supply, the more demand. Even just think of like Bugatti, for example, or even Ferrari. I have a buddy, his dad is like really good, friends with the Ferrari places. And one of the new Ferraris is coming out. I think it's coming out in 2025. It's been launching for like 3 years or whatever. and they only had 3 in all of Canada. 3. And so what they do is they send an email saying, hey, we have 3 new Ferraris, apply to get one. They get hundreds and thousands of applications. They search through to find the best candidate for giving them Ferrari. Think about that for a second. Just think about that. People sit there and apply to give them their money. But that's supply and demand. Is the less there is of something, the more valuable that thing is. Right? The less there's something, the more valuable that thing is. Which is why, in the dating game, for context, if you are a man that makes money, that works out, okay, that has a good personality, you are in the top 0.00001% of men. And your dating life actually gets a lot easier because there's not a lot of men, there's not a lot of competition. All men are just pussies nowadays. There's no real men. They're all just fucking pussies. Which is why if you can actually become what we call a high value man, dude, you date like there's no tomorrow. People are like, say, oh, but all these, if you become like a top echelon man, I'm not talking, you don't even have to make millions, but you're just like a good, competent individual. You have all the advantage in the dating game because there is a lot less good men in terms of like what society deems as good men than there is good women. Now, granted, I like to think there's actually not a lot of good women either, but on a spectrum, there's less high quality men than there is high quality women. Which is why if you become a high quality man, it becomes easier to date because there's less of you than there is of women, right? And so in theory, women, like, yes, they on average have more options, but they don't want all those options because all these men are pussies, right? Which is why if you can become someone of value, your dating game is easier. Anyways, that's a whole different story, but like thought it was worth mentioning, something I learned this weekend. Okay. Anyways, something else I want to touch on. I talked about earlier today is the victim mindset, right? Which is something that all of you have, right? And right now, if I ask you why you're not succeeding, I would argue that most of you would give me some sort of victimized answer. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, oh, well. Some sort of victim mindset. Most of you would give me that, right? That's fine. That's fine. Up until today. After today, that will no longer be acceptable. So I'm going to tell you how to change that. Okay, so the thing is, a victim mindset is people that only ever search for problems, never solutions. So fundamentally, a victim mindset is people that only ever search for problems, never solutions. And so if you want to find if you have this mindset, just ask yourself, in my life, do I always look for problems? Do I always look for things that are going bad? Do I always look for ways I'm failing? Or do I constantly only look for ways to improve? Only look for ways that could be better? When I talk to people, do I only ever talk about my problems, or do I talk about the things I'm working on? And I tell you what, it's a lot easier to talk about your problems than it is, to sit there and wail them out than it is about anything else. I have a buddy, I love him to death, and I've said this to his face hundreds of times, but he has he's going through some shit with his body right now, whatever the fuck, right? Some issues, right? Whatever the case is. And every time we talk, the entire time, that's all he's ever talking about. It's the only thing he can ever fucking talk about. And I said to his face 100 times, dude, straight up, shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit if you broke your fucking arm, right? You're actually funny enough, you broke his ankle. I don't give a fuck. Okay? And I'll tell you what, neither does the world, neither does your future wife, neither does your future kids, and neither does fucking money. Okay? And I'll tell you what, you believe in manifestation as much as I do. What you put out comes back to you in some way, shape, or form. You keep spitting out negative energy, what's going to keep happening? And guess what? His life kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Literally. Why? It's because he constantly is spitting out bad energy to the world. Just constantly. And all he's ever talking about is bad things. So no wonder he's getting sad. No wonder bad things keep happening because he's only looking for bad things. Right? For context, this buddy broke his ankle and broke up with his girlfriend in the same weekend. Actually, his girlfriend broke up with him. And you know what I said to him? I said, good. Good. He's like, what the fuck do you mean good? I'm like, dude, you can't, and he owns a landscaping business. You can't, do this, you can't go work anymore, and you can't hang out with your girlfriend. He's like, I can't fucking do anything. I can't go to the gym. I can't do this. I'm like, what? Dude, you can go to the gym every fucking day. You just go work on upper body. You even have dumbbells here at home. You can sit there and do bicep curls and Arnold presses 24/7 for all I fucking care. Just because your ankle is broken doesn't mean you can't fucking work out. I said, dude, you can't go work, outside in your landscaping business. You can sit inside. You've been telling me for the past year or so you wanna scale your company. You want to find a way to hire employees. You have a bunch of HR shit that needs to get done. You have all the time in the world now to figure out how to manage a team, how to hire a team, how to do all this HR bullshit we're talking about, how to structure your company in the right way, how to acquire more customers, how to manage your customers better, maybe make a CRM, right? You could do all these things. Guess what he did? Nada. Later on, he went back to the gym. Look at that. And then other bad shit started happening. He started talking about bad stuff again. And it's all he ever does. And tell you what, from a friend perspective, nobody wants to be with people that are constantly just fucking complaining. It's something I've tried to make. I've used to be a really big complainer. It's something I've tried to make an effort in my life to stop complaining as much. Because it doesn't help me, it doesn't help the people around me. At all. It just makes both of our lives worse. And so I've told him, dude, shut the fuck up. And he's like, yeah, I remember saying it, like, tell me. I'm like, I will. Because, and for those of you who know me, I'm going to keep it so real with all of you. I'm never someone who sugarcoats stuff, ever. I just don't do that. I don't believe that that's real friendship, right? I believe that real friends are the people that will tell you the shit you need to hear. I believe that's a real friend, right? Who will fucking say shit to your face and be like, dude, you're slacking the fuck off. You're bitching. You're complaining. You're being a pussy. That's what I want my friends to do. I want my friends to call me out of my shit. Be like, Stefan, what the fuck are you doing? What have you been doing the last week? Why haven't you done this? Why the fuck are you going to the gym? Yada, yada, yada. That's the kind of people I want in my life, because guess what? Those people make my life better. And so the thing is, it doesn't even make the person fun to be around. But it's like a victimizes people that only ever look for problems. All they can ever see in their life is problem, problem, problem. It's like they have a filter in their mind that only sees bad things for whatever reason. All they can see is bad, 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 bad. And nobody wants to be with those people. The thing is, most of us are those people. Most of us are that guy who only ever looks for bad. When something bad happens, we instantly think about bad, bad, bad. We don't think of, how could I solve this? What's the solution? What can I do about this? All we do is just sit and complain and think that we can't do anything about it because of whatever the case is. Once again, back to the first thing we talked about. Even if that were true and you couldn't do anything, well, for context, if you really can't do anything about it, then why are you worrying about it? You should only ever worry about things you can control and then fix those things instead of worry about them. And the things you can't control and the things that, don't worry about them because you can't control them anyway. So why are you spending your time, energy, and resources on that? Why? Doesn't make sense. Okay? But the point is that a lot of us just, all we do is look for problems. And so stop looking for problems and start looking for solutions. Instead of, looking at how bad your situation is and be like, oh man, my life sucks. Start looking for ways to fix it. Instead of like complaining, oh, I have no clients, find a way to fix it. Instead of being like, oh, I'm broke, I'm this and that, go find a way to fix it. I don't get no girls. Fuck the dating game. You can sit here and blame girls all you want. And do I think that girls have a huge part in why the world is so bad the way it is today in the dating scene? Of course. But I think it's equally as bad what men's fault. They're the ones buying all the OnlyFans shit. Yeah, but the girls put themselves out there. Yeah, but you buy it. So whether or not which one is right, which one is wrong, that's not up for discussion. The point is, pick the one that you can control. So if you're somebody who fucking buys OnlyFans shit or watches porn, yeah, well, those girls, they sexualize themselves. They do. You're right. They do. But guess what? You have the choice to not buy it. You have the choice to not look. Well, it's hard because, they're everywhere. Okay, then delete social media. For context, that's what I did. Trust me, it helps. Delete everything. Helps a fuck ton. Right? Whether or not it's the girl's fault or not. Here's the thing. Here's a quote I love. Whatever you blame, you give the power to. And so when you blame somebody else, you give it the power to change. And so Tate talks about this a lot, and hopefully most of you guys watch him, about this idea of taking complete and utter self-responsibility for everything that happens in your life. Because when you do that, you can then change your life. But the thing is, you have to take ownership first. When something goes wrong, I don't give a fuck if it was your fault or not. Just say it was your fault. Because guess what? That at least gives you the power to change now. Right? Someone spilled coffee on you. Hey, man, that's my bad. What? No, I spilled. Dude, don't worry about it. My bad. It's all good. Someone crashed into you. First, make sure you get paid insurance and be, hey, man, it's my fault. don't say this, on insurance claim. Like, make sure that first you get paid. But then no, internally it was your fault. But Stephon, how is it my fault? I stopped and the guy came running in behind me. Why did you take that road? Why did you stop there? Why did you leave the minute you did? The second that you start blaming people else, you give up the power to change. And whether or not you could have done something about it, it's getting in the habit of taking ownership. And for context, I still need to do this myself. So if you catch me slacking, call me out on it. The same way I call you out on as well. Right? But take ownership, because it's the fastest way to control your life. Is to take ownership of every little thing. Everything in your life. Right? Every little thing, just take ownership. Right now, you are exactly where you are because of everything you've done. You are where you are, and it's your fucking fault. If you're not happy with it, I don't give a fuck. It's your fault. I don't give a fuck what happened to you in life. It's your fault that you are where you are. Oh, but Stephon, victim mindset. Get the fuck out of here. You are where you are because of the shit you've done. It is your fault. And the sooner you can accept that, the sooner you can change it. Right? In order to change something, the best way to change something is to first accept it. I am where I am because of me. I am where I am because of me. Cool. Well, if it's my fault I'm here, then I'm the one that can get me out of this. Boom. Let's find a way to do that. Okay? Let's find a way to do that. Because it's your fault you're here. Quite literally, it is your fault. And once again, whether that's objectively true or not, I don't care. Having the belief that it's our fault serves us because it means that we can change it. The second we start blaming other people, well, but this mentor did this to me, and my dad did this, and my mom did this, and my school teacher did that, and I have school, and then this and this and this. Sounds like you don't have much control of life. Yeah, no, other people control my life. Guess you'll be broke. I don't want to be broke. Then take ownership. I don't want to take ownership. Why not? Because that means that I have to admit I was wrong. Okay? So once again, I don't care. School, teacher, family, brother, sister, share a bedroom, we're poor, we live here, accent. I don't give a fuck. And I tell you what, I don't give a fuck. Your future doesn't give a fuck. Money doesn't give a fuck. And so I'll tell you what, whatever car you want, whatever the fuck you want most in life, whether it's freedom, whether it's a car, whether it's Rolex, whether it's buying your mama a house, I don't give a fuck. Whatever that thing is, just picture it right now. I want all of you. Close your eyes and fucking picture the thing that you want most in this life. Whatever that one thing is that you fucking want most in this life. That thing doesn't give a fuck how you feel. Okay? Whatever you just pictured, that thing, that person, that whatever, doesn't give two fucks about how you feel. And so why should you? Because that's the thing you want most, right? You just envision it, not me. And it doesn't care how you feel. So why should you? It doesn't care about your circumstances. So why should you? Right? Money doesn't care about your circumstances. Success doesn't care about your circumstances. So why should you? If the thing you want most doesn't care, then why should you? Right? My McLaren doesn't give a fuck if I woke up today tired, mad, sad, depressed, angry, hungry. It doesn't matter. My McLaren doesn't give a fuck. And so why should I? If I want the fucking McLaren, the McLaren doesn't care. Cool. I don't care either. It's that simple. It's really that simple. I didn't say it's easy, but it is super simple. Okay? And for context, I want you to know that as I say all this stuff, I'm really talking to myself. As much as I'm talking to you guys, I'm also talking to myself. This is something I need to hear just as much as you guys. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I'm some fucking perfect specimen that does everything right. I don't. I'm very, very much guilty of all the things I've talked about today. Right? I'm human too. I just want to let you know that. Okay? Like one more, I know we talk a lot about perspective today, right? Like, oh, your life is just your perspective, which it is. And I'll tell you a really cool story. So I'm sure all of you, I'll tell you per story, I'm sure you guys have seen this as well. I'm sure you've seen videos, right, of people filming your local town, posting on social media, making it seem like it's really good. Can I get a thumbs up or a shake of head? Like, have you guys seen those videos? People are like, come to, Afghanistan, look how beautiful it is. And, they show only like the beautiful parts. Everyone's like, oh my God, Afghanistan, we need to go, right? And then you look at the videos and go, dude, that fucking stupid piece of shit, it doesn't look like that at all here. Right? He's just lying. He just came to the best whatever, yada, 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 blah, 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 right? And you're like, that fucking liar, fuck that guy. He's making it seem like my place is nice to live. It's not like that at all. And you're in the comments like, it doesn't look like this. He just blah, 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 right? We've all seen this. And so I made a tweet about this the other day where someone posted a video of my hometown, literally. And it was like all these beautiful places, right? And I'm like, my initial thought was, this fucking liar doesn't look like that all the time. Or does it? Or does it look like that all the time? But our perspective on it is just different. Who's right? Who's right? Because I'll tell you what, I have buddies all over the world. And it's funny because sometimes they'll come to my hotel and they'll be like, "Oh my god, dude, it's so beautiful here. It's incredible." I'm like, "What do you like about it?" Like, dude, like just look at the peace. I'm like, "Yeah, but it's boring." They're like, "Dude, it's incredible." And then I go there, I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, it's insane." Like, what do you like about it? I'm like, "Dude, just look at everything." They're like, "Yeah, I guess." It's just your perspective. Both aren't objectively, right and or wrong. Your hometown isn't good and or bad. It just is. And the way you view it is just your perspective on it, right? Like I've gone to places where I think are the most beautiful places in the world. I'm sure people that live there went, dude, it's fucking boring here, right? Because I'm sure you've done the same. I'm sure many of you guys are like, man, dude, I wish I could just go to LA. You know, it's funny. I thought the same. Back in 2017, I went, and I think it's one of the worst places I've ever traveled to, right? I'm sure there's other people there like, oh my god, LA, LA, no, 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 like LA, dude, it's the best place on earth, right? And the thing is, it goes for everywhere. And so the point is that life is just your perspective. And so, people can view your town, and some people look at it as the most beautiful town. Others will look at it as shit. Who's right? Both. They're both right in their own regard. Because once again, it's just what you make it to be, right? And so they're both right. It's beautiful to that person. It's ugly to this person. None of them are objectively wrong. It's just how they see the world, right? Which is weird because, I live on a place called Vancouver Island. Some people call it Raincouver Island because it rains so much. And for some reason, people associate rain, they have a negative connotation associated around rain. It rains, like, oh, it's raining. Huh? What do you mean, oh, it's raining? It's just rain. Oh, woohoo, woohoo, it's sunny, yay, sun. It's just sun, bro. The fuck? Like, it just is. Like, it's just weather, bro. Like, it's not good nor bad, it just is. Right? It just is. It's not good nor bad. It just is. It's raining, cool. It's sunny, cool. My life won't change. There's actually, I found this really funny. The other day, I was interested to see what the internet had to say about the hometown I used to grow up in. What to do there, right? Hence, I looked up what to do in city name when raining. And the first thing on Reddit, some lady asked the same question, and the person below replied and said, it doesn't matter whether it's raining, snowing, hailing, or, shining the brightest sun in the world. We do the same thing anyway. Sometimes you just got to change your gear a little bit. And I was like, I fucking love that person's mindset. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter how I feel, how hungry I am, how mad I am, how sad I am, how tired I am. I'm just going to do the thing anyway. Because whether or not it's raining or snowing or shining the brightest sun, right? Why am I going to let that dictate and affect how I feel and what I'm going to do? Whether you wake up sad, mad, tired, hungry, depressed, anxious, are you going to let that dictate what you do? Or are you going to go out there and live life anyway? Because tell you what, some of the coolest moments are when I went out there and played in the fucking rain. And I'd argue that some of your coolest, best moments are when you wake up and grind even though the last thing you want to do is work today. Or when you wake up and go to the gym even the last thing you want to do is go to the gym. Or when you wake up tired as fuck, hungry as fuck, it's cold outside and you still go for that run. That's what builds you. That's what builds character. Okay. The last thing I just want to talk about is that your mindset is just a byproduct of everything around you. And so what I mean by this is your mindset is a byproduct of the people you talk to, the people you spend time with, right? The things you listen to, the shows you watch, the books you read, right? And the things that flood into your body. You are just a byproduct of all those things. Okay? And so if you don't like right now, currently where your life is, I would urge you to look at the things that you fuel your body with. And I'm talking metaphorically here, right? In terms of, like the people you talk to, and also physically. Look at what you eat, right? But more so metaphorically. Look at what you fuel your body with, right? Ask yourself, like, what do I fuel my body with? Do you fuel it with good thoughts and good people, good vibes, right? Good shows, good music? Or are you constantly talking to people who complain? You're watching videos that confirm how depressed you are. You're talking to people who don't have the same mindset as you, etc. And I urge you and I encourage you to start fueling yourself with the things that you need, that you want to become, right? So if you want to become, if you want to make money, for example, instead of hanging out with people who only talk about how making money is so hard, go talk to people who make a bunch of money. Go surround yourself with other people who want to make a bunch of money, right? Because Tate said this, if I put you in a room with 5 ice cream men, after a year from now, you know ice cream pretty fucking well. Okay? You know like how to mix it, what the concentration is, what you should do to get yada yada, you know it all. It's the same with money. And it's the same with depression, right? Which is why the system is so flawed and you have to escape. Depression in and of itself, whether it's real or not, different discussion. I don't believe in it. That's why I don't have it anymore. But imagine this. Let's start with this. Imagine if I put you in a room with somebody to talk about how making money was so easy. And all that person did was talk to you about how making money is so easy, so easy, so easy. And for the next year, you guys talked every single day about how making money is so easy. Do you think you would make more money? Do you? Yes? Cool. So if I put you in a room with somebody to talk about how sad you are, and all that person did was tell you, yes, you're sad, you're sad, you're sad, you're sad, you're sad, you're sad. Do you think after a year you would be more sad than you are? Yes. The thing is, we can force our mind and our body to do whatever we want. If you want it to be sad, let's just keep saying how sad we are, tell everybody around us that we're sad, get them all to agree, confirmation bias, tell us how sad we are, and guess what? Even if you weren't sad to begin with, you will now become sad. It's like with becoming the man, becoming him, right? If you want to become him, just start to act like him, like that guy. Do the things that that guy does. And guess what? Eventually, people will start to look at you as that guy. And guess what happens? When they look at you as that guy, what do you become? That guy. Exactly. Right? It's the same with anything in life. Whatever you want, just start with the belief first. Right? If you want to make money, believe you can. Truly, utterly, undoubtedly believe that you can. Just keep believing and then start doing. And all of a sudden you'll start to make money. And then it becomes real. But it starts with belief, because if you don't believe, you're not going to do it. If you didn't believe that working out would make your body look the way it did, you wouldn't work out. The fundamental difference between entrepreneurship and working out is that working out, we know if we go to the gym every single day, 7 days a week, for the next 5 years, and we eat good and we sleep good, we will become jacked, no doubt. It's been proven. We don't even second guess that. None of you second guess that going to the gym works. None of you. We all know undoubtedly going to the gym does work. We don't sit there and go, oh, will it work? We know it will work. It's proven. The fundamental difference of entrepreneurship is there's no guarantee, which is why you have to be delusional. You have to have some delusion in you that you think you can make it work, because there is no guarantee. There's no one that says, hey, man, once you've been in entrepreneurship for 5 years, you'll have this amount of money. That's not how it works. Some people make $1 billion in the first year. Some make zero for 10 years. There is no guarantee. And so in order to even stick to it long enough to see the results, you have to be delusional to some extent, because there is no guarantee. And fundamentally, to some degree, you have to be delusional, because you can't even see the thing you're working for, but you believe it so firmly up here that you will keep moving. That's what will make you successful, is that undeniable belief and conviction. Okay, so just know that whatever you want, you can just talk yourself into it. You want to become depressed? Great, I'll help you become depressed. Let's talk every single day about how depressed you are. Psych, I won't fucking talk to any of you motherfuckers about that, because it's not fucking real. I will talk to you about how making money is easy though, and how you can attract it to you, because you can, right? But if you want to become depressed, literally just start telling yourself every single morning you're depressed. Go talk to your doctor, your therapist, and counselor, and tell them, yeah, I think I'm sad, I think I'm sad, I think I'm sad. Get them to agree with you, to make you feel right about your thoughts, to validate your thoughts and ideas. And next thing you know, you'll be on 5 different medications, and you'll be the most depressed motherfucker in your town. Woohoo! Congratulations. You know what? Let me give you a fucking medal. There you go, buddy. You're now the most depressed motherfucker I know. Congrats. So you can make whatever the fuck you want happen. Just start believing and talking about it every single fucking day. Like, if you want to make money, just start believing and talk about it every fucking day that you can and you will make more money. And surround yourself with other people who have that same mindset. And only talk about this. You want to know why the Matrix brokies stay fucking broke? It's because all they talk about is how they're fucking broke. And once again, they don't talk about how to fix it. They don't talk about the solutions. They talk about the problems. I'm broke. I can't buy this. I can't do that. My life sucks. It's never, I'm broke because it's my fault. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it. It's, I'm broke because of the system, because of this, and because of this, and because of that. And you wonder why they stay broke. You are a byproduct you are a byproduct of your fucking thoughts. So you want to become better? Have better thoughts. And you have better thoughts by fueling your body with the necessary things to make yourself better. Better people, better food, better music, better podcasts, better whatever. Okay? Simple as that. The end. I told you we'd have time for questions. I kind of lied because I kind of went on until the last second here. So for those of you inside of my mastermind, we have a call in 2 minutes. For those of you not, we don't have a call in 2 minutes. But I just do hope that this served you well and gave you, at bare minimum, at least a new perspective on something, or enlightened you to think a different way to hopefully become the best version of yourself. Because you owe it to yourself to be great. And if you don't want to owe it to yourself, fine. You owe it to your mom, you owe it to your dad, you owe it to God, you owe it to your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your uncles, to your future self, to your past self, to your future wife, kids, family, etc. You owe it to a lot of people. So if you're going to do it for yourself, there's a lot of other people who you owe it to. So go out there and get what's yours. We have 30 seconds. I'm leaving. If you guys have any questions, type them in the chat. I'm going to see if I can go through everything we have here. Come to Brazil, my friend. I already did. I was there for 6 weeks. I was in Playa de Forte, out in Bahia, close to Salvador. Was in Salvador for a bit. Also went to Rio. Guys, text in school because it's distracting. Just don't text. Pay attention. This call is going to end really quick. Let me ask a question. How many other people emailed them like you? I don't know what the fuck that's about. Anyone new questions? I started shopping content agency for podcast a while ago. Even after reaching 200 podcasts via mail, I didn't get a single reply. I applied all the tactics, didn't get a single reply. So I decided to change my niche. I can provide copyright and high quality social media management posting. Which niche do you recommend? The reason you didn't sign clients is because your fault, because you evidently made a shit offer people didn't like and you didn't do enough of it. Like, looking at this, you sent 200 fucking emails. 200. That's it. With probably a shit offer. It's not the niche. Okay? You probably just didn't fucking do enough to even get any good data back. Okay? So if I were you, I would look back and I would just read your offer out loud. I'd read it to your mom. Be like, hey mom, what do you think of this? I'd be like, mom, you know what I'd say?